Hey guys, Brown's thoughts here off the Mike Sports Network. I think we need an intervention as a fan base because too often, and I've seen this narrative get spun a lot, and I've done a lot of videos on this in regards to Shedeur Sanders. So we need to really course correct here, and we really need to go through the motions here and discuss Shedeur as a prospect. Now, I've seen Shedeur. I've gotten a chance to interview Shedeur. I've seen his games. He's a fine quarterback. Let's call it what it is. Fine quarterback. Let's be real here. If his last name wasn't Sanders and his father wasn't Deion, one of the greatest players to ever play football, one of the greatest dual sports athletes of all time, if his dad wasn't Deion Sanders, he's not a first round pick. Are you kidding me? He's got an average arm, average mobility. He's accurate. So is a lot of people. This is not a discussion at two. The reason why Shedeur Sanders is a flashy name is because he's Deion's son. That is it. Do not tell me that he is just amazing prospect. He is not. He would probably be fifth or sixth guy taken last year. If you wanted to rank quarterbacks, I don't have him in front of me. He's definitely behind C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. I would put him behind Bryce Young. Definitely behind Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. We could have the debate about the rest of the quarterbacks that were taken in that first round. Drake May's still not sure yet. Bo Nix has had a really good time. J.J. McCarthy hasn't played a game. Michael Penix played a few games. So the point is, the only reason that we are having this discussion is, A, the Browns need a quarterback, and they made one of the worst quarterback decisions in modern time trading for Deshaun Watson. And they are still going to feel the effects of that trade for years to come. So they do need a quarterback. Make no mistake about it. They do. But just because you need a quarterback and you are sitting there at number 2, and more than likely the guy that I would be okay with taking in Cam Ward is going to be gone. He will probably go number 1. Cam Ward is going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, whether it's the Titans or it's the team that trades up. I hope it's not the Browns because they don't need to trade up. There is zero rush to take a swing on a quarterback and basically say, hey, let's just take a chance on it now because we need one. Guys, the Browns are not competing for championships in 2025. They're not. This is at best a borderline wild card team. This team is not winning the AFC North. This team is not going to the Super Bowl. They're not winning the AFC Championship. This is not. I understand that you're building for the future, but if you're building for the future, you should take the best prospect available at number 2. And if Cam Ward is there, maybe he's the best prospect available, and he just so happens to be a quarterback. But Shedeur Sanders, let's call it what it is. I think he should probably go, somewhere maybe in the top 10 to 15 picks. But if his last name was something not Sanders and he wasn't Deion's son, come on. This isn't even a debate. I don't even think he's a first-round pick. Scouts are all over the place with him being Deion's son. The only reason this has momentum is because Deion is his dad. And he played in a high-profile school and had a high-profile, career because of who his dad was. And he's talented, but he's not special. He's not number 2 pick in the draft special. That's what I don't understand about this fan base. We have just, these fear of missing out. We have this FOMO. And I've seen this from people saying, man, if, the Browns don't take Abdul Carter and he turns into a great player, it's like, hey, at least you have Myles Garrett. If you don't take Shedeur and he turns out good somewhere else, and you're going to regret that forever. It's like, guys, we literally went through this in 2018. With better prospects. We passed on Josh Allen, and we also passed on Lamar Jackson, 2 former MVPs. Josh Allen, the current MVP. You mean to tell me that Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, if they would have been drafted to Cleveland, would have been as good as they are now? No. It's about culture and system. The Browns need a shift in what they are doing from a culture perspective, and I don't even know if this front office or this coach is going to be here after this season. The bottom line is, just because there is a quarterback with a flashy name, a flashy dad, and had a decent career in college, and he's potentially in position, doesn't mean you have to overdraft him. Shedeur Sanders is not the second best player in this draft. There is no need to force a need pick at number 2 overall. You're probably not going to the playoffs next year. I don't care about building an infrastructure around him. Shedeur Sanders is not good enough to warrant that pick. I have been saying that for months, and going on Brown's Twitter daily, weekly, monthly, and having to see and feed through these comments of people trying to act like it would be just a crime against justice if the Browns don't take him and he goes somewhere and if he goes somewhere else and he's successful, it's not because he didn't go to the Browns, it's because he was in a position to succeed. I don't think the Browns are ready to do that right now. And hey, I'm not saying punt on the season, but if you have a bad season in 2025, it's not the worst thing in the world where you could potentially be at the top of the draft, where it could be. I'm not going to say it's a 2024 level class, but you potentially could have, Lenora Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, Carson Beck, I'm blanking on people, Arch Manning, like Cade Klubnik. Like, there are dudes in next year's draft in 2026 at the quarterback position that I think just lap Shedeur Sanders. And in some respects, Cam Ward. I like Cam Ward. I've met him. I've interviewed him. I've watched his game. I would be fine if the Browns were able to take him at number 2. I would be fine with that. I think it just makes a lot more sense than, overdrafting a prospect that I just don't think is warranted worth the pick. And because the only reason he is in this position is because of who his dad is. He's talented, but he's not special. Like, it's not like he separated himself from, like, the Sanders name. It's like, just like I said, ask yourself this question. Would he have been afforded all of these opportunities to be on a big stage like he is if his father was Deion? Wasn't Deion? No. Like, I just don't understand why there is just this immense push and this immense gross desperation because they whiffed on a trade for a quarterback. They're still feeling the effects of it. There's no need to rush into this. This team is closer to what they were in 20. Like, I mean, there's probably more closer to the middle. They're probably not 3-14 bad, but this team is the 2023 season was an outlier. Joe Flacco saved this team from, another mediocre season to what they were. He was so spectacular down the stretch and just had this thing click. It was a magical run. It was a magical run to get to an 11-win season when they were on like their 4th or 5th quarterback of that season. So that's where I stand on this. And I just don't understand. Like, I don't know what I need to do to educate you people in terms of like what we're going to get. Like, it's just like, if the Browns want to take him, go be my guest, man. Like, you're as stupid of an organization as I think you are. I hope they're smart enough to realize, hey, don't need to force the quarterback this year. Figure it out maybe in the later rounds when the risk is not as big as what you would do. I'd rather take Abdul Carter, I'd rather take Travis Hunter, or I'd rather trade back. That's what I would do at number 2 if I'm the Cleveland Browns. So anyway, thanks so much for watching this edition of Browns Thoughts. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.